Do you eat or skip breakfast? What's your go-to breakfast? Whether we eat or skip breakfast, all of us, wherever we may be in the world, have a traditional breakfast meal. During the busy week, we might eat a lighter breakfast, and then, we all have our traditional weekend full breakfast. Isn't that right? Like in America, during the week, people may eat oatmeal or a bagel for breakfast, but on the weekend, it's all about those pancakes, bacon, eggs, potatoes, toast, and orange juice. Or how about in Turkey? During the busy week, breakfast might be cheese, bread, olives, and tea, but on the weekend, the breakfast feast includes eggs, cold cuts, cheeses, yogurt, breads, pastries, jams, veggies, and more. Most of us are attached to what we culturally eat for breakfast. Can you relate? Leave a comment. As children, we eat what our parents give us for breakfast. Most of us continue without question to eat what we were raised to eat for breakfast for the rest of our lives. As we continue growing, we become so attached to what we traditionally eat for breakfast and in general that if we travel, for example, we may or may not enjoy what other cultures serve for breakfast and so on. We may feel homesick. Also, it's already hard enough for most of us to have to wake up early and go to school or work every day, so oftentimes, what we eat for breakfast is something exciting and comforting, which helps us look forward to our busy and challenging day. We might feel that we need that cup of coffee or those baked goods to help us start our day. Every morning, you might hear the family member who is preparing breakfast saying things like, "Breakfast is ready, don't skip breakfast, you need to eat breakfast, so you don't get hungry later, eat your breakfast, so you don't get a headache, eat your breakfast, it will help you do well on your exam or your interview." What things are said in your home surrounding breakfast every morning? Please join the conversation and share a comment. Many of us eat breakfast because we are hungry, it's food, it's a meal. It tastes good. It smells good. Or simply because someone told us to. Not to point out the obvious, but sometimes we take those things for granted. If we are hungry, we are aware that our stomach might be growling. If we are thinking about food and eating a tasty meal, we are aware that our mouth might be watering, and we are aware that the food aroma is activating our sense of smell. If someone tells us we need to eat, we are aware that we are hearing advice with our ears, which activates our conscience, minds, and spirits. But what does breakfast really do, aside from stimulating our senses and feeding our hungry stomachs? Before we get to the 5-course breakfast, let's first look into what breakfast is.
Welcome to medi-date, the place where we upgrade your well-being journey together. How do you say the word for breakfast in your language? What does it literally mean? Comment below. In English, the word breakfast literally means breaking fast. This means you are in a state of fasting before you eat the breakfast meal. And now that it is time for the first meal of the day, also known as breakfast, it is time to break your fast and eat. When we talk about fasting, breaking our fast, and eating breakfast, we become aware of our body as a whole, not just our stomachs and senses.
Although our body is far more intricate and advanced than a car, let's use a car to compare it with our bodies. When we think of buying a car, there are two general aspects we usually consider: internal and external. Most of us don't understand the internal functionings of a car, so we call someone who understands to help us buy a well-functioning car. However, most of us know a nice-looking car when we see one. We don't really need help with choosing a car from an external standpoint. Our bodies are the same way. We are all familiar with our external bodies, but when it comes to how our body functions on the inside, most of us don't know much, or we know the little bit that we are told. Oftentimes, we don't seek understanding until we or someone we love is presented with a serious illness. Here is an aspect that makes our bodies much more different than a car. When a car is parked all night, nothing inside it is moving, working, or functioning. On the contrary, as humans, when we sleep at night, yes, our body is horizontal and we are physically not moving or doing work externally. However, our internal body continues to work. It does not stop working from the time we are conceived, and for the rest of our life, until we expire. Many of us aren't really aware of what is happening internally in our bodies as we sleep. You see, a car may need maintenance every few months, but our body needs maintenance daily. Unlike parking a car overnight, sleeping can be considered a maintenance period of the day, widely known as the reparation period. When we are horizontal and we are not using our external body to complete our daily tasks, our internal body has more energy to do its internal work. Sleeping gives our body, including our brain, time to repair itself and carry out important functions. For example, cells absorb the nutrients from the elements we intake, process them, and clear out waste. Our bodies are also releasing hormones, and more is happening inside of our bodies while we sleep. Follow us to learn more. Another way our bodies can be compared to cars or machines is after our car had been parked all night. When we start our car in the morning, we need to allow the car to warm up before we start driving, especially if we live in a cold climate or if our car is an older model. This ensures that lubricating oil gets to all of the engine's vital parts, allowing the car to function properly and smoothly. Again, our body is the same way. Before breakfast, we were sleeping all night. Just like we don't want to hit the gas running when we first start our car in the morning, we also don't want to startle our body system with a big bowl of porridge or most of the elements we traditionally intake for breakfast. By now you might not be pleased with what you are hearing. Take a deep breath. This doesn't mean we need to stop eating our traditional meals altogether. No. It simply means we would want to consider the timing and the content of what we eat. Also, just like we don't fuel our cars if they are full of fuel, we don't want to eat and pile on food on top of the waste that is left over in our bodies from the day before. As we mentioned, while we sleep, our body works to clear out waste. In turn, we would want to cooperate with our natural internal body system and be kind to our bodies by eliminating the cleared out waste in the morning sooner than later. Rather than eating and compacting waste, creating toxins in our bodies, and allowing room for disease to develop. This is why breakfast is widely known as the elimination period, because the point is to eliminate as opposed to eat. Starting 4 a.m. to noon is known as the elimination period. It is a time for us to open up and clean up our internal system from the day before, so that by noon it is time to eat a full meal. Follow us to learn about lunch and dinner, also known as the intake period. Just like our cars need an oil change every so often, to lubricate the engine with clean oil, our bodies need certain food, especially for breakfast, to facilitate the cleansing of our internal system.
So you're probably now wondering, what would we eat for breakfast? Or should we even eat breakfast at all? Well, this ancient food is so delicious. It is incorporated in our cooking in diverse ways. Many of us love it, yet it is so marginalized to the point that it is not considered food by many people. Many consider this food as an unnecessary or an optional dessert. It often sits on our kitchen counters, or we stuff it into our bags or cars to grab as a snack if we feel like it. Sometimes, it just sits there until it goes bad and we end up throwing it away. Just like many of you might change the channel right now. But we think you should hang around because you don't want to miss this. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to reintroduce fruit to you for what it really is and the power that it literally holds. Fruit is so looked down upon that the word fruit itself is often used in referring to matters with a negative connotation. For example, sometimes people refer to someone soft or naive as a fruit. Can you think of any more? Leave a comment. Just like we don't fuel our cars with any fuel or change our car oil with any oil, but we use the best possible fuel and oil. We don't want to eat just anything, especially for breakfast, but the best possible foods for our bodies. This is to allow it to function at its optimum, so we can live, create, and perform at our highest potential.
Let's briefly take a closer look at the meaning of fruit. Fruit means the result or reward of work or activity. Just like fruit is the end result and reward of the cycle of planting. We also use the word fruit to refer to results in our day-to-day life. For example, we often say things like, enjoy the fruit of your labor, or something will come into fruition. When fruit is ready to be harvested, it is ready to be eaten. We don't need to cook fruit, as the sunflower has already naturally done that. We don't need to season fruit. It tastes great as it is. In fact, we use fruit to season and flavor other elements that we intake, isn't that right? Be it orange chicken, strawberry candy, or an apple martini. Just like fruit is the end result of the planting process, it also rewards us with great health benefits and outcomes. In botany, a fruit is the fleshy or dry ripened ovary of a flowering plant, enclosing the seed or seeds. If we say that fruits are products of plants and contain seed, then we can realize that many plants that we consider vegetables are actually fruits. This means the options for breakfast have just multiplied. We are not just limited to apples and bananas.
But what makes fruit so powerful? First of all, when we talk about eating fruit, it is no different than when we talk about cleaning. To clean, we essentially need water and a wiping agent. Once again, think of your car windshield wipers and how they operate. First, water is sprayed, and then the wipers easily and smoothly wipe everything away. If we use the wipers without first spraying the windshield with water, we all know this won't work too well. That is exactly how fruit functions in our internal body. The water in fruit moisturizes our system, and the fiber or roughage in fruit is the wiper or broom that sweeps away waste through our passages. Fiber or roughage is the material in fruit that cannot be digested, and which aids in the passage of food and waste products through the gut. Fruits are cleansers. Not only are they used to give other foods flavor, but we even also use them in our soaps and perfumes. With just that said, we think it's long overdue to give fruit credit where it's due. Fruit and its power is nothing to be undermined. But wait, there is more. While different fruits have different moisture levels, generally speaking, fruit has a lot of water. If we eat other elements for breakfast, or in general, we would have to boil, steam, or cook them in oil to soften them up before we can eat them, like sausage, for example, but we don't have to do that before we eat fruits. Fruits have water built in them, which makes them perfect to replenish the body, as well as ease the digestive and internal cleansing process of our system. When we eat fruits, they easily and quickly break down, and are ready to be incorporated into our digestive system for our body to benefit from their diverse and abundant nutrients almost immediately, within about 10 minutes from eating them. Fruit stimulates and acts quickly. As many of us already know, fruits are high in fiber, full of vitamins, minerals, and a wide range of health-boosting antioxidants that will keep your body strong and disease-free. Be sure to check out our shorts videos and playlists to learn about the abundant benefits of fruits and more. While many of us know that fruits are nutrient-rich, most of us aren't really aware of this. Just like different fruits have different moisture levels, they also have different acidity levels. In fact, fruits with high acidity can conduct electricity due to their ability to serve as power sources, making them suitable for generating electrical current in eco-friendly applications. Fruits with high acidity can conduct electricity due to their ability to generate voltage and current. So imagine, when we intake fruit, it literally powers up our entire body with energy, no different than lightning brings electrical balance to the Earth's atmosphere. The higher the level of moisture, the more electric the fruit is, and the better it is a cleanser.
So now, we can confidently say that fruit is not a snack. It is not a dessert. It is not a side dish. Needless to say, fruit is the highest form of nutrition. It is a main course. If you are at medi-date, we believe in your high value and we assume that you take your health seriously. So if you don't already eat fruit for breakfast, we really encourage you to start now. Don't wait till you get sick and feel powerless. Most people get sick because of what they eat. But why live with disease when we can live healthy? Why shorten our life when we can live longer? As an added bonus, now we may see how we can save a lot of time by eating fruit for breakfast, because there is nothing really to prepare. So you wonder, is it enough to eat just fruit for breakfast? Will I be satisfied, or will I feel hungry? Well, first we want to make it clear that we are not telling you to give up your traditional delicious and comforting breakfast that you have eaten for generations. At medi-date, we believe that you are a free bird and nothing is by force. But what if we suggest that you eat your favorite breakfast foods a little later in the day, like for lunch or dinner? It's the same idea as eating breakfast for dinner, if you know what I mean. You say, well, I can't just eat fruit for breakfast. Fruit doesn't make you full. The reason we don't get full when we eat fruit is because we don't eat enough of it. Also, many fruit contain protein. Some fruit make you really full, like mangoes and avocados for instance, but this is why we have a 5-course breakfast, and trust me, this will carry you to lunchtime just fine. Here's a powerful way to break your fast.
Course 1, Pure Coconut Water. Pure coconut water is excellent for cleansing. It washes out the heart and brings energy to your cells. It is electric. If pure coconut water isn't available or you'd like alternatives, eat watermelon or drink water with a squirt of lemon. Notice how you feel. Listen to your body. When you feel hungry again, go to course 2, fresh unsweetened fruit juice or fruit smoothie. Use fresh fruit to make a fruit juice or smoothie. Remember, fruits have different levels of moisture. When making a smoothie, depending on the fruit you are using, you may or may not need to add liquid. If you need to add liquid, you can use pure coconut water or just water. If you want your smoothie to be a little creamy, you may want to add some raw unseasoned cashews, other nuts, or natural unsweetened nut milk. If you want to sweeten your smoothie, you may want to add date fruits. Continue to notice how you feel, and again, when you feel hungry, go to course 3, fresh fruit salad or fruit kebabs. If you get hungry again, go to course 4, pure coconut water or fresh fruit. Finally, course 5, herbal tea. Herbal tea is also a cleanser as well as a builder. It strengthens the immune system and aids the digestive system. Herbal tea can serve many functions in our bodies, such as building bones, muscles, and much more. You can drink herbal tea as well as eat fruit throughout the day. Thank you for continuing to this point. We sincerely hope you have greatly benefited from this 5-course breakfast option. Here's to your health. Enjoy the power of fruit, and come back later and let the medi-date community know how you feel. Until next time, take good care.